Alright, welcome back everyone. My name is your everyday speedrunner. I'll be your host for the upcoming two games. First of which, Final Fantasy X-2. Any percents by HabKeineName. Take it away, boy.
Well, hello there, dear peeps, dear night folk, or wherever the heck in the world you're watching and what time it is. The name is German Guys back on the couch, or on the seat, with another run. Today we're doing Final Fantasy X-2, and I'd say I'm explaining the most things while the run is going, but first, there was an incentive for this run to watch a few cutscenes. A few special cutscenes, including the intro cutscene, also known as the Luca concert with the song What Can I Do For You? The hot spring scene in Chapter 2, and the fan favorite, the song 1000 Words. So, since the intro cutscene is literally the intro cutscene, I'm just gonna count us in, keep quiet, let you enjoy the music, and explain everything else after. So, let's get this started and start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy!
In position. It's showtime, girls.
And yeah, with that, welcome to Final Fantasy X-2. Shoutouts to every person who's speedrunning this on PC, on PS2, because on PC this cutscene is skippable, on PS2 it's not, and this fight is already one of the most reset heavy in the game. If you aim for a good time, that is. For plus PC runners, it's about 40 seconds into the run. For the PS2 runners, it's 4 minutes into the run, so shoutouts to them for enduring this every single time. Because the first fight is gonna be very quick, very easy. We're gonna fight against this girl and 2 of her goons. The thing is, the girl will buff them up as the first thing, using some ecstasy, at least that's what she calls it. Using that, she can turn her back on us, and when she does that, she'll take double damage from every attack we do, and she does turn her back. The ATB is bad though. And there we go, nice 48 damage. Basically now we can 2-shot and be... turn around last second. Not quite the 2-shot, but okay, it worked. So yeah, basically that's the first RNG bit of the game. Like, if she doesn't turn around, that's normally already a reset if you're going for a PB. This fight can take anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how lucky you get with the movement. So yeah, nothing much to explain here. We're trying to chain the fights up, but basically everything we do here is not worth explaining because we won't do it for very long. And that's the intro fight. Let's keep moving on then into the real game. First of all, we're gonna set the ATB to fast, because of course if the ATB is fast, we can go faster. And we're gonna run into more goons. Pain, our lady in black, can kill him in one hit with her sword. Riku with her daggers has a chance if she crits them, but that didn't happen here, so we have to hit once more. Easy enough though. Can save a few seconds though. We just run through the middle and avoid the second fight. On this screen there are some secret shenanigans, but we just hug the wall and avoid all encounters with that, going right into the first boss fight. Where are we going to meet the real girl? This is Yuna, this is Riku, this is Pain. And we're gonna fight Ormi and Logos. We're gonna see those two a few more times over the game, and good steal for first try. Always love when it happens. We try to steal one item to manage, or to have a safer money management for the start of the route, as all the money we actually need for this game is being collected within the first 15 minutes of the run. We're gonna do one shopping, and that's gonna be all the shopping we do for the entirety of the run. So basically we try just to attack closely together here to start chains, which will do a little bit more damage.
Takers, keepers.
And also stun the enemies, not allowing them to do any actions themselves. And we're moving on to the real boss. Say hello to LeBlanc. She stole an item called a garment grid from us. That's why she looked like Yuna before. And we're gonna beat her up for it now.
I'm gonna whack you good.
As Rico said, we're gonna whack her good. But first, super sexy transformation sequence, go! Enjoy it while you can, as the only one you get to see during this game. At least this category. So we're forced to switch into the songstress dress sphere here to show off dress sphere changes in the fight, but this is all stuff that is in the game that we don't care about at all, because this is 10.2 HD. The HD version added Monster Creator, which allows us to capture, control, and train monsters to fight in our stead. And they're just way too overpowered and broken, so if we weren't going to use them, it would just be dumb. So we're just going to use them, but basically by that, scrap every single game mechanic in the game. Boss fight done. Easy cake every single time. Piece of cake. English is hard. It's after midnight for me. Sorry if my English isn't the best. And with that, we have the first mission complete. We do our first split. And we continue on to our main hub, to our very own airship. We're just gonna skip a bunch of cutscenes, do a little bit of mandatory stuff, and then also gonna go into the matter of creatures. So normally what we're supposed to do here is to talk to everyone, get some background information and everything, but basically we just have to talk to Brother, our captain, and that's basically the only person we really need to talk to, and then we can just move on with the game. He's gonna give us a dress sphere that we will definitely not care about. And then we just gonna head out of here and go towards the cabins. The cabins are basically a place where we can go rest. We have a little shop there and a little barkeep. We don't really care about any of that either, because we just want to hit a cutscene trigger by walking down this hallway up to here and turn around to progress the game. Go Wings! Report to the breach. But yeah, before we report to the bridge, as I said, monster shenanigans. We're going to capture every single thing we need to beat the game. But first, the guide to everything, and we learn how to use garment grids, or not, because we quit out and still get a reward for it. And going into the creature creator. Please do not press yes on the tutorial. That's a mistake I've done on my D-Rust run last week. It was not pleasant. Right, basically, to explain it real quick, we have 3 different sizes of monsters. We want 3 certain monsters. The first one is a flan. The flan we can catch on Moonflow. On Moonflow there are 2 different types of monsters. It can be the flan or the lizard that we just got. It is a 50-50, but now that the lizard is gone out of the pool, we will 100% get the flan, which is going to be our powerhouse throughout most of the mid to end game. And then we're gonna go and catch Gualsalam, and hopefully won't see any gun snakes. And of course, just as I said it, we're getting some gun snakes. Gualsalam has 4 different monsters, which are 2 different kinds of gun snakes and 2 different kinds of goons. That's the she-goon. So we now have a 50-50 again to get either the male goon or the second gun snake. Let's hope we get the male goon, because the male goon is we want. And there is the male goon. Basically, just been our enemies. We now brainwash them, or whatever you want to call it here, to them now fight for us. So we're gonna set up the Vanguard garment grid that we got, because it gives an attack buff to everyone being on it. And then we're gonna set the party to Brother, Sea-Goon, and Goon, who are gonna be our main party for most of the early game. We're gonna equip them with the Vanguard garment grid. As I said, they get an attack boost by just wearing that. And then we're gonna put them on Thief, because Thieves are very fast attackers and have a special ability called Muck, which is basically stealing. Just that while stealing, they also deal damage. We're gonna unlearn a few skills here that we don't want to see for later. And that's basically setup done. We're ready to start the game for real. Our first mission. So basically the idea is we are sphere hunters. What are sphere hunters? Well, there are persons that hunt spheres, which are like little balls that somehow are like video or audio devices from ancient past, and they sell for a pretty penny if they have valuable information on it. So we're hunting for them and trying to find information along the side. But we are not the only sphere hunters, so sometimes we have to fight, and sometimes also with dirty means by either ourselves or the enemies. But first off, we're gonna have some tutorials, jumping, climbing, falling down pits to then climb them up again. All that normal stuff that, of course, 3 girls in the ages of, what was again, 17 to 19 should definitely do. Aside from saving the world. Moving on to this elevator. Yes, it is an elevator, but it's not really the safest elevator. You probably wouldn't want to step on it. If you ever see this elevator in real life, run. Don't activate it. Because sadly it's broken. We're gonna activate it though and then fall into our near death. We're gonna be fine though. We're gonna be fine though. We just fall like 5 stories or so and then just land happily. And we're moving on along the Gaga set. Nothing too much to explain right now. But we're coming up to our next boss fight. As we're gonna meet Ormi, Logos, and LeBlanc, the trio that we've just fought in the tutorial section. And we're gonna beat them up once more, because they followed us, they want to steal the sphere that we're after, and yeah. Basically, this fight has one important thing. We want to look for mugs, because we want to steal at least 2 items here to cover all the money we will need for the next shopping. We got 2 items. We could get a third one, but it wouldn't be too important. Also, another thing. Our monsters know currently 3 different moves. They know how to attack, they know how to mug, and they know the special move Armor Break. Attack and mug are moves they will instantly use when their ATB is full. Armor Break is a move they can use when their ATB is full, but it will charge that purple ATB that you've seen. In terms of controlling, you might have seen the stars on the top left. Basically, the idea is the lower the stars, the less damage we take, but the less damage we deal. On higher stars, it is we deal more damage, but also take more damage. Which is why we're dealing insane amounts of damage that is not really intended for this early in the game, and already shows how broken these monsters can be. Normally you deal like 10 to 20 a hit right now, and we're already here dealing like 50, 60, 70s. So yeah, they're surprise attacking us, and they will try to block our path. This section is a bit RNG heavy due to random encounters. We hope we get very few of them, if in best case scenario we get none of them. Which of course would be good. But this kind of RNG, encounter RNG, won't be following us for long, as the game has in-game items to prevent random encounters, and we can get one literally right after we're done here. So we're just moving on, trying to keep up. The timer on top shows us how far away they are from the top, our enemies. And that's the first encounter. It's all fine though. We just run away. Could you please not attack, instead run away? Basically, if the timer runs out, they won. But it's actually very hard to let the timer run out unless you're really wanting to. It's also not really a difference if you win or lose against the timer, because the only thing that is different if you lose is the cutscene will be a little bit altered, and the treasure chest a little bit on the path will already be opened. That treasure chest has kind of something good in it though, and since we're trying to go fast, that timer is not gonna go anywhere close to completion. Please run away before they do some stupid attacks. That'll eat up my time. That's the second random encounter already. Second is about average, so I can't complain about this at this point. Depending on your RNG, you might have between 0 and 4 encounters. I don't think I've seen more than 4 encounters on a run where a person actually was speedrunning and trying to get through here fast. Don't think I've seen more than 4. Don't think anyone has. 4 encounters is already very unlucky. So we're basically already done with this mission. The only thing left is now to do a little more jump and run, and we're at the top. Where we gotta find the boss and the sphere that we were looking for. Just a little bit of jump and run, and the timer disappears here. So as you've seen, 4 minutes 50 still on the clock. You have much time to explore the place and find all the hidden treasures. Also, how strong is this woman, you might ask? She's holding herself and 2 grown men with one hand on an edge. I don't know what this woman lifts, but she lifts. That much's the obvious. But thanks for this treasure chest, which contains a muscle belt, which is an accessory that gives one of our party members plus 10 attack and defense. And we're on the top, we reach our goal, and here's the Boris Spider. Boris Spider in itself a very difficult boss with a bit over 500 HP. Casually can actually be quite a hard fight and very annoying, but yeah, as you can see, demolished. In a matter of seconds, didn't even get a move. Monsters are way too broken. It's basically a joke in the community that this game is literally walking simulator, because everything but walking, basically the game does for you in this case. The monsters are overpowered, which makes the game a bit boring, some would say, but it's still a decent game in my opinion. Though I personally have to say, due to especially due to the high early game RNG, I've distanced myself from this category at least. Still love to run it for marathons because it was my second ever speed game and I have a lot of good memories with it. But by now I switched over to 100% and 100% category. It's just way more fun, way more to do. But also it's a long run of currently I think we're close to sub 11 hours. So nothing for the lighthearted. So yeah, mission complete. And we're going on to a shopping tour. We're gonna do the only shopping that we're gonna do in the entire game. So yeah, we're going to be picked up now. Why they didn't drop us up on the top in the first place, who knows? Our captain brother, when we fell down an elevator, jumped after us in fear. Now he's lying there, half unconscious, fairly hurt. We can have an option to go to him and comfort him. We're not gonna do that. It's slow. It's a fun cutscene though, so we're gonna go first to the cabins, talk to our barkeep, who's literally called Barkeep, and we're gonna sell every single item we acquired so far except for the muscle belt. And we're gonna end on 8,200 gil, which is good. 8,100 is the amount that we need. In best case scenario, there's a chance that with some luck you get up to 9,100, which would in theory be better, but it's not really that required anymore. Just walking over him and we're moving on. So yeah, we watched the sphere. It's not really that exciting.
It's not very exciting.
Junk. So yeah, we can't make any money with it, but we can use it as a dress sphere, which is a black mage, which is something that we're never gonna use. So, as Payne already said, junk. And now we finally have the tutorial part completely opened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have free control over the entire map. We can go wherever we want, do whatever we want, and have some fun. All we're gonna do though is gonna go to the Calmlands, do some shopping here, and after that we're just gonna do main story because any percent. Any single side quest that isn't main story related is worthless, useless, time waste. First encounter already is very early, which I'm not very happy about. Also an armor break, which is slow. Also kill them all, which is even slower. This is not looking too great. Oh well, it's the RNG that's like plus minus 30 seconds. Shouldn't be too bad. We have plenty of time cashed in for bad RNG. So yeah, not wanting to go too much into detail, we have 2 companies working on this place, and of course we get a second encounter. Would have wondered if we made it without one. Get out of there, run. Thank you. And we're gonna talk to the left person and let's do some shopping. So this is a gambling facility. We're gonna buy some gambling credits, 410 to be precise, and then trade them in for a charm bangle without doing any gambling, and right to hover to the travel agency. The charm bangle is the item that I just described earlier. Once a party member equips that, it sets the random encounter rate to 0. Also, we're gonna buy some wristbands, which increase the strength by 10. Well, we're going to equip it all. Brother gets the charm bangle and the wristband. Shigun gets the second wristband and the muscle belt, and the last 2 wristbands go to the goon. And with that, we're completely set up for the next hour of the game, before we're gonna do some more upgrades to be even more overpowered than we are gonna be right now. Off to Besaid! Where we also gonna have a fun little mini game, which I'm not looking forward to.
This must be how. This is the first time I've.
So yeah, basically, to explain story-wise, we got the informations, or we have like a search mechanism on board in our ship that picks up the frequencies of spheres, and we have confirmation that we have 1 sphere each in Besaid and in Xenarkand. So our goal is to go to these 2 places and collect the spheres. Beside, of course, being the starting village in Final Fantasy
Kimura said
X,
he found it on Mount God.
home of Yuna, home of their friends. They're definitely gonna make a friendship visit, and before they go look around,
Though something seems a little
and we're getting a little bit more story detail here. Which I'm not wanting to go too deep inside because even though this is a speedrun, I don't want to spoil too much for the people who haven't seen the game too much.
since you've come all
Because
this
just to say that much, the story is about 20% of the game. The story is only just about 20% of the game, so there is a lot of background information and whatever. So we get asked if we want to stay all night, which we gladly do, and then we're gonna move on to one of my most hated segments. Because we're going to meet and bless the door. Oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed yet, for some reason there is a little bug in the system. Don't get too close to Lulu. She might poke out an eye with her
Good
hair.
morning.
We don't know why it is. It is something in the script that when we skip cutscenes, certain objects that normally have some jiggle physics to them are just getting stiff. Like, for example, Yuna's skirt and Lulu's hair. So, what we're doing now is we're going to look for a cave. That cave is locked by a door. That door has a 4-number combination lock. Luckily, the numbers are all over the site, and that is a 9. That is a good start. The thing, though, is the first 3 numbers are very close for us. That is a 3, that is not the greatest, but acceptable. The 4th one is very far out of the way, though, so what we're doing is we're gonna grab the first 3 numbers and then just guess the 4th number. So, due to how the input system works, we prefer numbers that are very close to the 0. So, for example, the best numbers to get basically would be 0, 1, 2, or also the 9 and the 8, because you can also go downwards. Then it's just RNG guessing. It's a 10% chance to get it first try. If you get it first try, then the run is very nice already. But we'll see how long we're going to be here today. It's always a fun one when it takes a while, especially if you get numbers like 4, 5, 6. Because it just takes so much to put them in every single time. Alright, 2 3s and a 9, not the worst. Let's see what the hidden number is. So we have a 9034. Okay, stop talking, start concentrating for a second. No, try the 1. No, try the 2. No, try the 3. No, try the 9. Is it maybe the 8? Is it maybe the 7? Okay. Basically, how the order doesn't really matter because every single number just has a 10% chance to be it. But for me personally, what I like to do is to go from 0 to 3, then 9, 8, 7, and then 4, 6, 5, because those would be the numbers with the least amount of inputs. So I do the long inputs later after I done the short inputs. Alright, this boss here, the Fire Dragon, or Flame Dragon, could potentially be a bit annoying. Because he has a special attack named the Fire Breath, which has a fairly lengthy animation and will teach our Shigun how to cast fire, which we do not want to see, so we hope that we get some quick hits in and kill the thing before it does the Fire Breath. And nope. So yeah, Shigun learned fire, 1 hit away, bit annoying, but whatever. Of course, fire is a spell. Spells needs cast time, so this is slow, so we're gonna have to go into the menu right now and unlearn that spell again. Because we don't want Shigun to cast fire, because that is slow. Creature, Shigun, Unlearn, Fire. Thank you very much. So yeah, basically, to come back to that thing with the free moves, yeah, we have 3 moves right now. 2 of them are considered good, 1 of them is considered too bad, and they just pick every single time their ATB is full, they pick one of those 3 at random. So as of right now, we have a 2 in 3 chance to get a good move every single time they attack, and a 1 in 3 chance that they take something that takes a little while.
I'm going to be a
Alright, Sphere found, Walker found, Cave explored, we're done here. Get lost, please.
You read me? You guys about...
Yeah.
Yeah. And the next mission is complete. Now we're going off to Xenarkand, which is an annoying section because it has a lot of cutscenes. And the boss is also kind of annoying because the AI sometimes seems a bit wanky for our characters, that they just love to spam armor break on this boss more than any other fight in the game.
This is where we sat that night.
So yeah, Xenarkand, holy place. Now it's a tourist attraction. Who turned the holy ground into a tourist attraction? Let's find out. And let's try to find our goal in the meantime. Maybe that guy that just is gonna appear right of Yuna's head in a second will know more. There is a little frame perfect skip here that one could attempt, but I've personally never been able to manage it. So I'm not even gonna attempt it here in a marathon run.
Ah, yes.
Basically, the idea is that you stand on the line of the cutscene trigger and then talk to one of the NPCs behind you while also walk inside at the same time, allowing you to walk through the cutscene.
I know.
It is hard though, and there hasn't really been found any valid setups for it, so it's never been really investigated too much. Can we please go down? Thank you. And yeah, all in all, it would only save about 10-15 seconds. And we've seen some goons running around already, so yeah, LeBlanc's man around here as well.
Anna, you ready?
Hello there, little kids.
What was the clue again?
Yeah, basically the next segment right now is just cutscenes, 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 cutscenes.
Let's head
Nothing really important, so...
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, is the right correction. Do you have maybe something to tell us about?
Which way?
Alright, I've got enough to tell you about. I can tell you a little bit about the cause we're raising money for if you'd like.
Feel free to do so. I'd say you have about a minute or two.
Alright, because we're raising money for Minds, which is a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and support everyone who's dealing with mental health issues themselves or within their family. All of your donations will go to Minds.
And this is Taro.
And to tie in
Nice
on
to
the
meet you,
mental
Lady
health
Yuna.
issues,
What are you doing here?
approximately
There are fiends
10%
around.
of people worldwide are suffering from mental health issues, which rounds up
That's right.
about
We're sphere
750 million people, which is a little bit more than the population of Europe, to put things in perspective.
You here on
So,
some kind of treasure hunt?
you know where your money is going
So
towards.
key must be
It's
a
a close,
clue to
near and dear to
finding
my
the
heart,
treasure.
and I'm very thankful
that's
for
right.
BSG to support this cause.
Shh. We paid 15 whole gil
It is
for
a
that.
great cause indeed.
Come on, let's go.
I mean, you're supporting a great cause. You can donate towards some incentives,
Move out.
and with those incentives, maybe influence how the runners play their game, like, for example, my cutscenes. And as well, I think we have a few prizes, right?
We do have a few prizes. If you donate a minimum of €5, you're eligible to win a €25 gaming gift card of your choice.
Oh, hey,
If you double that
Nah,
donation,
it's just
if you
that
double that, you can also double your winnings with a €50 gaming gift card. For €15, you can win a
What? The
BSG
Gullwings?
custom PS2 controller contributed by Delfino Customs.
Monkey!
Also for €5, we have a Sonic the Hedgehog controller stand. So imagine putting your BSG controller on the Sonic the Hedgehog stand. That'd be amazing. Also, I'm giving away a Totodile plush, which you can enter for yet again €5. And we have a Majora's Mask display. To enter that giveaway, you have to donate a minimum of €7.50.
Thank you, yes sir. Alright, so Invincible Go Wings! Brother, and his in-game battle voice lines. One of the reasons the Chinese version is preferred, because there the voice actors didn't do in-voice battle lines, in-battle voice lines, that way around. So yeah, to recap what just happened, basically the kids told us, yeah, they're here on treasure hunt, and they bought a clue, which is key. And just after that we met some of LeBlanc's goons, which we also have one on our side, but they just fight anyway because mind control something. I still can't explain really how we control the monsters. We just deal with it. And so yeah, but they were we caught them just in a video call call where they asked, yeah, was the clue really mom? Because there were some kids saying it's key, and yeah, because we're smart, we know, okay, there are two clues. The first is key, the second is mon. So the password is monkey, and this word is very, very liked in this game because, brother, please stop. Please stop these in-battle voice lines. They are slow and they get annoying fast. And yeah, we got the clues now. The password is monkey, and the password is very friendly because many people in this world actually do use this password. We will say monkey a few times over this run. But yeah, we're just going towards the end. We got our clues, and we're still looking for our sphere that we definitely know it's here, while also investigating why the heck is this holy ground a tourist attraction. So on our last way, of course, we've met the Kinderguardians, which is a funny bunch, but yeah, not too important for any percent. They just gave us the clue they bought for 15 whole gil. Just to put that one in conclusion, a normal potion that heals 200 HP costs 150 gil. So, yeah. We meet Sid, who is Riku's father and Yuna's uncle, and he's the one who made this place into a tourist attraction. We definitely do have a bone to pick with him, but not really. I personally don't really mind, but well, it's faster to say we have a bone to pick, and the dialogue is way shorter here. We're talking to his friend over here. The monkeys will move away, and making our path free for the next segment. And coming actually into one of my favorite cutscenes, because I just think love this cutscene in the English version, because I just think the voice actors did an amazing job with this.
2 years ago.
Because you can really feel the villainous of the speech here. But yeah, we now have a little more downtime. Enjoy the cutscene, enjoy the voice acting.
Who's there?
Dangerous music.
You have done well to make it this far, Sphere Hunters. But you will not have the treasure you seek so easily.
So we fight.
If you want the treasure, you must speak the password.
Password?
Password.
The clues?
Oh, I know. The password is monkey.
Yes, good. Okay, so now tell me, what is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life?
What?
The meaning of life is, of course, to marry a Hypello.
Hypello.
That's an insider joke. If you played 10 or 10-2, you might get it.
Wait a minute.
I thought
yeah.
the meaning of life was
Voice sounds
42.
familiar.
Yeah. Basically, the idea with this cutscene is you can't hear the voice, and you can hear that's the man that we met at the entrance. If you and the last answer, of course, is that Isaru? That's a very interesting choice for an answer of the question, what's the meaning of life? So that, of course, is the correct cutscene answer, but that will lengthen the cutscene, so we literally just say anything but that. And yeah, Hypellos are the best race in this world. If you haven't seen
Okay, thanks
Hype
for
Hello in
coming.
10 or 10.2, you're gonna see one later this run.
And
They're
remember,
very funny folk.
The ruins of Xanarkand will
And
be
yeah.
waiting.
Basically, it didn't really matter what we said there. Just loving the Hype Hello options because
come in
personally,
all
yeah,
flavors.
Hype Hellos are my favorite race of this game, of this world.
Apparently so.
We done here?
We done here.
The sphere Oscillo Finder picked up a signal. There should still be a sphere nearby.
Alright, we were here on a mission, not on a pleasure cruise.
Right.
Well,
Okay,
let's try this again.
again.
Luckily, I know exactly where the sphere is. It's hidden in the secret area down here that wasn't in Final Fantasy X. And it has a very annoying boss, because that boss is very tanky, has a lot of health, has some very slow attacks, and for some reason, the monsters just love to start spamming armor break on this fight specifically more than on any other fight in the game.
We're not alone.
Think we need a password? How about kick its ass? And on that note, please monsters kick its ass, not its armor. Because damage is good, armor break is useless, and the first one already starts and the second one starts. Yeah, as I said, just already so many armor breaks, and that delays us because they have to charge another bar, and then there's animation lock, so they can't do anything for a moment, and then they sometimes say something in between, which slows it down a little more. Makes this fight all in all fairly annoying if it goes like this. This is still a decent fight because they still did a decent amount of attacks, but yeah. It can go definitely way worse, but that's RNG for you. Nothing much we can do about it. With that, at least we're done here. We grabbed the sphere, even though it's just half a sphere, but that half a sphere, in theory, is a very, very important item. Just not for us right now, because cutscene incentives. We're not gonna be needing that half a sphere.
What? It's only half a sphere.
All that
for nothing.
for nothing.
I mean, it's still half a sphere, it's not
Can't
nothing.
hurt to take it with us.
But yeah, it's broken, we can't play it, we can't sell
I
it.
can't believe how much this place has changed.
Oh well, we're done here. Let's get out of here. On to our next goal. We're going back to our airship, and we're getting some information. Apparently there is an awesome sphere in Kilika. So off we go to Kilika Island, or as I like to call it, Skipika Island, because on Kilika Island you can't move 3 steps without getting into a cutscene. Like, we spawn in here, we get a cutscene. As you can see, we literally move 5 meters, we get another cutscene. Now we're gonna go on for 10 meters into the next cutscene. A lot of cutscenes here. Very happy that this game didn't follow the tradition of Final Fantasy X, where literally nothing is skippable. In here, basically everything is skippable. The only exceptions being 2 or 3 important for the story cutscenes that are actually locked, and basically all of the final boss cutscenes. It is kind of annoying to have like a 3.5 minute I was cooldown just before the final fights. But, well, have to deal with it. Let's get going. So yeah, we're looking for an awesome sphere. Turns out we're landing in the middle of a war between 2 factions. On the one hand we have the Youth League, on the other New Yevon, which are factions that were formed after Yevon failed. New Yevon basically is just that. They are Yevonites that try to reform their religion, while the Youth League is more of the younger generation of Spira and tries to fight for their own rights. And the Youth League has got word that they hide an awesome sphere here. We suddenly got pulled in here, and now we're handling after the motto, when to fight, the third is happy. Or however that is in English. Just word by word translated. So basically they're fighting, so we take it so they don't have anything to fight about. In before, we don't have a checkpoint where they're gonna ask us passwords. The passwords we can get in a cutscene up here. Luckily, we don't even have to watch the cutscene to make the guard who would stand right here disappear, move past, and we're gonna head over to the end of the mission already, where we're gonna go at the checkpoint. So, what are the passwords? Well, the password is monkey. Basically, you get 4 different answers here, all monkeys of different sorts. The idea is that every single time you have an even number of soldiers standing around, it's the one monkey. If it's an odd number, it's the other monkey. And then there are 2 monkeys that are just wrong. Every single time we answer false, we get into a fight. Every single time we answer correct, they give us a little item and let us just pass without anything. It's always the same passwords, it's always the same order. And it's always monkey. All of the monkey. Done here, coming up to a fairly annoying boss possible. But we can also just stun lock him to death if we get lucky enough. This boss has some very slow animations, so if we get a little lucky here, we will just stun lock him right now. We won't see him do a single attack for the rest of the fight. And instead we do see another haymaker on Brother who learns Stormin, which actually is a pretty good move, so I'm not gonna complain about that. Stormin is a move that deals massive amount of damage and can really be helpful if used in the correct position. So I always like to learn it either here or on the next boss, because the next boss also has an attack that can make Brother learn Stormin. Also, how do monsters learn attacks? Well, basically by either getting hit by the attack and then knowing how to do it, or a version of it, or by feeding them certain items or accessories. They just learn moves.
So,
Which we still don't really care about, because that's all mechanics that we don't use.
Goings, let's go!
But with this
the sphere is
boss
ours.
done, we are now finished with chapter 1 of 5. The first 20% of the game are done already. We're just gonna head out, take the sphere, and head out.
Tough luck.
Bye-bye. Chapter 1 is completed. Alright. We're getting a few rewards for that I don't really need to explain because they're also not really important. And we're going into more cutscenes, where we're of course gonna watch this awesome sphere, see what's on it.
How'd the sphere analysis
And here we're gonna perform the only real glitch we have for this game.
Appear to have any special functions. You want to take a look?
So basically, FMVs work differently in cutscenes. Skippable cutscenes. This FMV is skippable. I could press the skip button right now, but if we end the cutscene with the skip button still being on screen, the skip button instead will be transferred to the next FMV, which is unskippable. And like multiple minutes long, while this is just a few seconds. We have a second red flashing light, we have a third red flashing light, and on the fourth red flashing light, I'm gonna press start because that will be the trigger, and we have the skip button there, and the skip button now is stored. Everyone's freaking out about that machine
But as Machina go,
because it looks extremely dangerous.
you? And
And now we're having a meeting because our leader doesn't want to keep that thing because it looks dangerous, and so he wants to get rid of this sphere that we just stole by giving it to by giving it to one of the 2 fractions that we just stole it off. But before we do all of that, we need a clear mind, so we ask Yuna to dance. And before she can dance, we have to deal with what we in the community like to call the true final boss. Because this minigame is wanky and bad. We have the 3 musicians here who would like us to push them into the elevator to get on deck to play music for our little dancing. And this is going bad already. Oh boy, let's see if I can still... Yeah, okay, this is gonna get a little bit messy. Normally what we try to do is we try to push the trumpet girl in with the other guy and then just push him in with having lots of space. And now it's... okay, good. This was terrible, but it wasn't too bad. But yeah, true final boss. This can go either way and sometimes they're just really annoying. Enjoy the singing and dancing. Sadly, this is unskippable. But in the English version, I still like to listen to it, because the Chinese version of this scene is a little bit bugged because the lalas are about half a second off of the music. So watch it closely. We have an FMV here. If you miss it, it's done, and it's done. This was an unskippable FMV because of the skip start that we've done on the cutscene before, we could just skip it and now just move on instead of watching another 3-minute cutscene. Yay! Back to the bridge. Where now we're gonna consult about which fraction we give it to. Brother's asking Yuna who we're giving it to. Yuna saying, I'll follow your orders, leader. And then the brother says, as leader, I command you to decide. So we decide, and we're gonna give it as to per any % law. We are gonna give it to New Yevon. Personally, like to give it more to the Youth League, but if we give it to New Yevon, we skip 3 or 4 encounters later in the game. And of course, skipping encounters is better than no benefit at all. Having to wait a little bit for a camera change right there before I can skip that. And while we just brought the sphere to the to New Yevon, someone broke into our airship and stole the half a sphere that we got from Xenakant. I wonder who it could have been.
Who's on top now, dull wings?
Yeah, they literally left a sphere showing how they robbed us. Maybe not the smartest idea, because now we know who robbed us. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna rob him back. I mean, we just stole already. We just stole a sphere already from 2 factions. So what about a little more stealing? We already started, so there's no real turning back now on the stealing train. In order to steal it back, though, we're going on a stealth mission. For that stealth mission, we're gonna go and steal LeBlanc uniforms from different goons all around Spirat, then just go into their villa undercover, basically. So let's start the stealing. But before we go start stealing, we're going to the temple in Jose, where we're gonna do a very annoying minigame, which is called standing in line. We need that in order to get them to access to another place where we're gonna also steal a uniform. So we just stand in line here, wait for a second till they move on, till we can go in. And then we're gonna have an interview. Because we want a job. We want a job. Come on. It's taking awfully long. There we go. Alright, yeah, we go in here and we tell this man over here that we want to die. I mean, Dick, sorry, my Chinese is rusty a little. But you're running English. Anyway, let's enter the temple for our interview. And I have to say, this interview is amazing. If any person on the stream who's watching the stream right now would ever have an interview like this in real life, I'd applaud you. Because these interviews are amazing, and I wish I'd ever have an interview just like that. Because by just going down here, we're gonna have the interview now. He's just gonna have some small talk with us right now, and now we're coming to the interview. He's asking us, are you sure you want the job? We say we sure. He says you're hired.
Welcome.
Best interview in the world. Alright, let's move on before more stealing, as we're going around the world to steal some girls' clothes. I'm not kidding, this is the sense of this game, but since we're all girls here, it's all fine.
We gotta find that sphere or the.
It's a thing that we can do under girls.
Hey.
Just stealing other girls'
Someone's
clothes.
turning-
So let's go steal some clothes. Alright, first order of business is they lost something, so let's try to find it before they get it. And then, yeah, just take it from them, because we don't like those guys and they literally just broke into our airship and stole from us. So why should we care? Going up here and finding the first special dress sphere, which gives us the garment grid unerring path. Special dress spheres is basically like ultimate dress spheres. We're not gonna talk about those because they're not in the run. We don't care about them at all. But the unerring path is very interesting though. As if a monster is equipped with the unerring path garment grid, it gets a massive attack boost. And if I'm saying massive, I mean massive. And it's gonna be our main dress sphere for most of the game. Actually, for the rest of the game. So we're gonna beat up those guys again, and we hope for some good luck, because this run can go down under really, really fast. They have some very strong attacks that can deal some massive damage. We can have persons die here, and especially they can throw flashbangs, which will blind all my players, all my characters, and I literally can't do anything against that then. And if I'm blinded, then this is basically just run over. But this was a pretty clean fight. It was a pretty clean fight. I'm very happy with that. Let him run away, and yeah. We beat him up, we took their stuff, and we stole this woman's clothes. She's gonna wonder why we did that. We don't care. That's the first uniform. This is, by the way, heist prep right now, yeah? Welcome to Grand Theft Fantasy 10-2 online. Or maybe not online. Where we are in the middle of the big villa heist setup. In order to prep for the villa heist, we're having to steal some clothes in order to sneak into the villa, because we want to go the silent and sneaky, not the guns blazing way. So yeah, we're just going all around the world, collecting clothes. Normal thing to do.
That's nice.
I guess the High Summoner's hard up too.
So yeah, basically what we're doing right here, this is what we had to interview for, to dig in the desert for machine
We'll send you out
parts.
there by hover. Go talk to the pilot about it.
But as we leave right now, she's gonna tell us there's something strange going on in the oasis. So she wants us to go to the oasis before we start digging. So we're gonna go to the oasis first, but now, little bit of menu, we want the unerring path, we want thief on it, and we want to equip it on all my party members. Because now we're starting to do the big numbers. And off to the oasis we go. Where we suddenly gonna find again Logos and some of his goons, or LeBlanc's goons basically, because he's one of them as well, but like general officer, whatever. They were also here looking for something, and we just find a sphere lying around. Woohoo! And after we pick it up, he comes around and be like, "You can lead a girl into water, but you cannot make it drink." And then we beat him up. And yeah, this is basically free, because, yeah, the numbers are just way higher already, and the fight is way shorter, and everyone's dead already. Bye! And we stole some more clothes. And up next is the second of the free cutscenes that we had that incentive for. We're coming up to the biggest fan service cutscene in the game. Because we are heading to the hot spring now. Basically, we're gonna visit our friend Kamari on Mount Gagazet. He's gonna tell us that there's some strange people looking on the holy ground of Toronto. So we say, hey, let's go check it up, and those are actually the people that we're looking for. No, I don't want to teleport back. And we find a hot spring along the way, and gonna take a little bath. Just girls' things, I guess. Because, like, I wouldn't go on a bathing in the hot spring on the holy ground of one of my best friends. But sure, if they feel the urge to it. Also, another thing, Yuna's main class that she's wearing is the gunner. She literally has 2 pistols that she normally uses to shoot around. This part is still what I think. We have to climb up here. Okay, whatever. Oh, there they are! Yuna, shoot him! Shoot him so we don't have to chase him! Ah, you had one job, Yuna. Could have just shot her right there and then, and we would have had the uniform, and everything would have been great. Oh well, now we can at least enjoy the hot spring, which is gonna be in about 3-minute cutscene again of just girl stuff that I don't really understand, I don't really like, but you paid for it. I mean, to be fair, I offered it, you paid for it, so in the end, whatever. It's a funny cutscene, though. And yeah, fan service. So here right now we have 2 options. We can just chase her right now, and then get into a few cutscenes followed by a few fights. Or we just climb up here and then just literally fall in on them into the hot spring. Scaring them away, clearing the path, and yeah, taking a little bath afterwards. Because we're already here. Enjoy.
But isn't this supposed to be sacred rock? What? You think some rock?
Hasn't the cutscene yet, so I'm just gonna mash it over right now. Because this ain't really the important part of the cutscene. The important part starts once we fall down. Just now. Enjoy!
What's this?
A hot spring?
Were those LeBlanc's goons?
Look, they forgot something. That sure was easy.
Well, as long as we're here.
On sacred ground?
No one's looking.
Also make sure to stay hydrated. Hydration is important.
This feels great.
What have we here?
What?
Whatever. I know who's got it going on.
Oh, excuse me?
Want to get hurt?
You should check out Pain.
Ugh, hurt time.
You want some?
Ooh, let me help.
Where were we?
I didn't mean it.
Too late.
Yuna, what's all the noise?
Just taking a little dip.
Call the tank. I'll be there right now.
Brother?
Don't worry, I knocked him out.
Maybe we should get out. I'm getting all roomy.
I really needed that.
At this point, saying once again, thanks for everyone who donated towards the cutscene incentive. I hope those persons are here to enjoy them. Alright, so yeah, let's finish this up.
We'll be taking that. If we lose it,
Let's finish this up. Normally, if we were to go the other way, we would just do the fights in the other order. And well, not watch cutscenes for 3 minutes. But yeah, we're had some fun. And with that, the mission is also complete. After we beat him up here.
For a little.
And with that, the heist prep is complete. It is time for the big heist of Grand Theft Fantasy X-2. It is time for the villa heist, which also has some questionable sounds, so I'm not sure what time it is, I'm not sure how loud you have the TV, but if you're in the teenage years and your mom's sitting in the next room, you might want to turn down the TV a little bit, because questionable noises on the next mission. But more to that when we get there. Alright, so we got the uniforms, we dress up.
We're off to.
Let's settle.
And it is time for the heist. Which is also funny, because like, on the airship here we will now until we do the mission we will always run around in these uniforms. Once I select the goal of Guadalsalam, we won't be in the uniforms anymore and decide to literally redress in the middle of the city.
Worry after.
Whose idea was that? I don't know. I mean, they are literally over there. They literally would have seen that. Worst guards of the century. Reporting for duty. Alright, so let's sneak around and collect informations, I guess, for first.
The boss is a...
Suppressing her natural charm and... You, go to the boss's chambre and tend to your duty.
what duties?
You know. Use your talents to help her unwind.
Okay. Guess we're gonna go to our duties and use our talents to help her unwind. Sure. That isn't weirdly phrased at all. All in all, we're gonna give her a massage. And yeah. It's a massage mini game. We need to collect points by pressing the right spots. Let's hope there is a little teeny tiny chance that RNG can screw me over here. Let's hope it doesn't happen.
Oh!
That's a good start. Yellow means it's very close, green means it's rather close.
Not quite.
Ah, there.
This is going well.
Ooh.
This is going very well.
Oh.
That's nice. Ooh.
Yeah, we just press the same one right now because we will get more than enough points by the end of this. That was a very good massage.
That's nice. Ooh.
Right, so basically if we fail the minigame, we get it on an easier difficulty and have to try it again until we succeed.
The boss fell asleep.
The thing is though, depending on if you make it on the first try or on later tries, there's a different reward in an upcoming chest. The one for clearing it on the first try will be a gold hairpin, which will halve MP consumption on the person that it's equipped to. The other thing would be pheromone number 5, a perfume that would regenerate HP and MP while walking on the overworld. In theory, both are runnable. In practice, is the gold hairpin just so much better. But yeah, we got it first try, everything easy. Basically, there is a pattern to it that once you learn it, it's very easy to get this done. But there is the chance that the first press will be 0 points, the second will be 0 points, and then the third will be 5 points, and that just keeps on going till the very end. Which would not amass you enough points to finish the minigame. So yeah, we find our secret hideout and their secret hideout. Sadly, we were uncovered because Brother was having very, very bad timing for checking in on the operation via radio. While we're literally on an undercover mission, and yeah, people heard that over the mic, and Riku got a little louder as well. And so yeah, Army met us, and Army actually is gonna get quite a beating here. Because now that we beat him, he ran away. We're gonna grab that gold hairpin for later. And in next, he's now gonna go and grab Logos to help him out defend us, and gonna fight us together with Logos. Of course, Army and Logos together even still aren't really a threat to us, so we're gonna kick their asses as well. So they both gonna run away, get LeBlanc, and then we're gonna fight all 3 of them. So basically, in the matter of minutes, Army gets his butt kicked 3 times. Poor guy. But you gotta respect how much he cares for his work.
What about you?
The bosses.
How seriously he takes it. So basically, we reach the point of the game where nothing will ever cause us problems. Although that's only only half true, because there will be 2 bosses under the final few that can definitely cause us some big problems. But yeah, basically the rest of the game fight-wise is already won. We're just gonna make it a little more overpowered to get the fights even faster right after this quest in the next quest. By getting another 2 items. So yeah, they run away, but they have the last laugh as they arm the booby traps. Or are we on the last laugh? I mean, come on guys, you arm booby traps, we are girls, we're immune to booby traps. Alright, there are 3 buttons and a very weird solution to a minigame here. Question: if you were to have a spike wall appear in front of you and run in your direction, what would you do? I bet 90% of you said run away from it. Maybe even 99%. The answer for this minigame is literally to run towards it, to have us run backwards in a cutscene, jump down a hole where we basically would have gotten squashed by it, and then somehow end up 2 stories higher. How did we get up here? How did that spike wall not crush us? We don't care, it just works. Yeah, if you, the most logical reason would be to run away and then hide in one of the gaps that we activated the switches beforehand. But that would literally not do anything, as you could reach this switch over here, but it would say it can't be activated until the other 3 switches are activated. Alright, LeBlanc's personal chamber, and yeah. They all 3 here now.
I went through a lot of trouble
LeBlanc has one move that is annoying in this fight, which is called Not So Mighty Guard, which will increase their all of their defenses by 25%. So let's hope we get some good hits in and kill her before she does the move. And there it is, and not a single person is dead. Not exactly great. That we have 3 armor breaks right now is even worse. Can we please stop the armor breaks and just hit him? Hit him fast, hit him hard. This was a very bad fight. But we made it. Because yeah, we're not really in any danger of dying in this fight. It's literally just wasting our time.
No one's gonna
Then
hear
again, the armor breaks
Wait a
were
second.
the main time waste here.
Please.
Right, so yeah, we get back what they stole from us, the sphere half, but it turns out they already had the other half. So now we steal both halves from them and get the reassembled sphere, which actually would get some use later to do another another cutscene skip storage. But due to the incentive,
Finished our analysis.
the cutscene incentive, we won't do the skip because we would use that skip to skip this the cutscene that I promised you to
All we
watch.
have to do is shake.
And also already warning you guys, maybe during that cutscene I will sing. On the first intro cutscene, I barely know the text, so I held myself back.
Don't be silly.
On a second concert, I will definitely sing. So, just want to say, you paid for your torture.
Sin is gone. The eternal calm. I've
I've
realized.
realized. We get another cutscene, another save, and we go on. So yeah, basically we got remember that dangerous machine that we seen in the other cutscene? Yeah, basically turns out it's hidden in Bavel, and we're going off to destroy it right now, because apparently it has the power to destroy the entire world.
So how?
And this is here where it makes a difference if you give the give the sphere at the start of this chapter to the Youth League or to New Yevon. Because if you give it to New Yevon, you can just walk through here. If you give it to the Youth League, you have to fight basically every single person you see on the bridge standing, which trigger an encounter
Careful.
when
He's
you
much
try to
stronger
walk
than he
by.
looks.
So they would straight up attack us right now, but because we gave the sphere here, they're just like, oh, please forgive the rudeness.
Please, forgive my rudeness.
And let me go by. Also, it allows us to talk to the man in front here, which will allow us to use the lift, or whatever you want to call it here, to just... And we're at the end of the bridge. Double the time save by one little option. Alright, so, Bavel. Very interesting part of the game. As we do open our last few chests here to get the last items we will need for the run, which will be 2 more equipment pieces. And yeah, we go to the right side first. Stand on the pedestal to unlock the other side and the elevator control. And then we're going back and on the left side. Also, for everyone who's been celebrating Brothers so far already, it's sad to say that we will let go of him in a moment. Because while Brother is a funny character, he is just a placeholder for us in this run. Till we get some equipment to replace him, as he is the weakest of our party members. Yeah, we will replace him in 6 or 7 fights from now on. If I'm not completely mistaken right now. So yeah, enjoy Brother's dance move while you still have them. Because they will be gone in a moment.
Wait.
The temples reek of sea.
Alright, so... Party! Yes. So yeah, this is... The next part is basically an auto-scroller. I don't really have much to explain here because it's basically just walking, a few forced encounters, a few cutscenes, and then we come to a security system which is literally just hit 3 buttons, free enemies, and it's open. So, if our lovely host has something to say, you could switch in again for a little.
Alright, let me see what I can say. I can tell you a little bit about Delfino Customs. I mentioned them earlier with the controller giveaway. Delfino Customs is a controller and console business located in England. They specialize in customization, modification and repairs. Quotes the code BSG 2021 on any order up until the 25th of August, so that's technically 4 days away from now, maybe 5 depending on where you live, to get £5 off your order. If you customize your controller cable with the paracord service for £5, £5 will be donated to Mind. Message them directly for all inquiries via their Twitter page at Delfino Customs. One word.
You can feel free to keep going if you want a little bit.
Alright, I can keep it going. Let's see. I want to give a quick shout out to ESA for supporting the event and allowing us to stream on their channel. For information about upcoming events or any changes due to the COVID-19 outbreak, be sure to check out esamarathon.com.
Alrighty then. I've seen an interesting question chat that I want to go into, so maybe later a little bit more. We do have a few. We later have a 10-minute auto-scroller coming up where it's literally just walking, so you can already put something aside because I literally have nothing for that entire 10 minutes. So yeah, I've seen a question in the chat. Someone asked, what's the strongest monster in the game anyway? Which is a very interesting question overall. Because there really isn't any. Every monster, of course, has their ups and downs. And especially with the sizes, it's very hard to say which combination of monsters or which singular monster is the best. Simply because, as I said, there are monsters in 3 sizes. There is small, medium, and large. We have places for 3 monsters. A small takes 1 place, a medium takes 2, and a large takes all 3. So, of course, due to the combinations, it can be that you have 1 monster on the field, 2 or 3. Or you just, of course, can just use the medium and leave the 3rd place open. But all in all, it's very, very situational which monsters actually are the best. Especially considering also with how much equipment can influence them. Which is a nice passageway into what I'm gonna do right after the next 3 fights. Because if you might remember back for the start of the game when we did our monster capturing, we captured 3 monsters specifically that we wanted to catch. We caught the Goon and the She-Goon, which are still fighting strongly for us, and we caught a Flan. The Flan is still sitting on level 2, We haven't done anything with him. And by just equipping him one singular item, he will for the rest of the run become a nuke that literally is capable of one-shotting most bosses that we still have ahead of us. Most bosses are, though, definitely two-shot by him. And that with level 2. The damage won't really go further up as he levels up, because with level 2 he's already hitting the damage cap of 9,999. Which is... yeah, so... monsters is a weird factor. It's fun to see, though, how much they can do, especially, as I mentioned earlier. By now, I'm a big fan of the 100% category, where, of course, we also use monsters because they're just stronger and faster than the main characters. And yeah, it's just funny to see which monsters actually can be completely overpowered just by giving them one or two certain skills, and a few equipment pieces. Just to say, one of the older routes, which was still a fun one to do, is that a great Marlboro was able to kill every super boss in the game with ease. Like, it wasn't even close, and they demolished them. And we found monsters that are even weirder and do an even better job. Also, say goodbye to Brother, as this was the last fight. After the death animation, you'll see him dance for another 1 or 2 seconds, and then it's goodbye for Brother, because we're kicking him out, where he is of no use to us for the rest of this run. So yeah, security system is disabled now, the path is open, we can go into the lower floors. Basically the idea is we have 3 towers with blue glowing poles in front of them, the others glow gray. The gray ones actually turn red when you come close and spawn other monsters, but they're needed to spawn 3 more platforms to go deeper down here to find a ribbon. But that's optional stuff. We have absolutely no use for a ribbon, so we just gonna keep on. And we're gonna have a surprise in the next room. We're gonna have a little carousel minigame. And this carousel minigame has 2 items as a reward for beating it. And these 2 items are gonna be the last 2 chests we open, and these 2 items are gonna be what is gonna completely overpower our team for the rest of the run. So, yeah. Carousel! We wait a little bit till we get the platform in front of us to move down so far that we can hop on it. And then Riku will, while we climb up there, accidentally step on the plate down here again to start it while we're on there, nearly cutting off our head with the machines. But we're gonna be fine, and we're not even gonna see it because it's a cutscene and we skip it. But yeah, all in all, this riddle is very simple. Especially from the default position. We're just gonna take the second one over here, step down. Gonna turn it twice.
Rick, come in.
As that will allow us to have a platform right in front of us and the platform left of us to be on the highest position. To then have an easy gateway to go over. And off to the first chest already. Where we're gonna find the Bloodlust, which is an item which will put our character, which will boost one of our characters we equip it to the attack power drastically, reduce the magic power drastically, reduce the max HP drastically, and will also give us the status effects Berserk and Poison. Poison, of course, being a status effect that will just deal damage every so often to us, and Berserk being a status effect known to many Final Fantasy games, which will let us not control that person and which will make that person only attack but also by that increase its attack speed and attack power. And here we find the ring, which does basically the exact same thing, just with one little difference. It does the same thing for magic. And why am I in the creature menu? So yeah, we're gonna put Flan in for Brother. We're gonna put him on the unerring path as well, on the Thief. We're going to give him the gold hairpin we got earlier to halve his MP consumption, and we give him the ring, which boosts his power and teaches him Flare. Every single Final Fantasy player that should probably know what Flare is. It is one of the strongest spells in the game, and yeah, Flan will be able to cast it very, very fast, and even though he is level 2, due to the massive boost that the ring just gives to him, allow him to, even while he is on level 2, straight up deal 10,000 damage a hit. Which is, as I already said earlier, our nuke, and basically gonna 1 or 2 shot every single boss left in the game. So before we reach the next boss we're gonna teach that on, time for a little story. When I casually played Final Fantasy X, I at some point just came up with a running gag. At some point I always just started to name the main character Titus, name him Ash, and name every single summon in the game after Pokemon. Of course, at the end of Final Fantasy X you have the super bosses, which are the Dark Aeons, which are basically the summons, just in a different version color. So, if we compare it to Pokemon, of course, those would be shiny Pokemon. And for the next part of the game, we have shiny Pokemon spawning all over Spira, and we're going to hunt them down, because of course they're shiny Pokemon. We're gonna hunt them and catch them. But let's just hope we're not gonna crit them out, because if we crit out a shiny and kill it, that of course would be very unfortunate, wouldn't it? We've all, probably every single person who've played Pokemon, been there at some point that they encountered a shiny, accidentally crit it at the wrong time, and it was dead, and we cried for like half an hour. That's a lot of damage. So yeah, for the first one we have Bahamut. Bahamut is a big black dragon knowing who's capable of casting magics of all elements. But he's basically like, he feels like the legendary of the game, especially if you consider how much of a how OP Bahamut is in the Final Fantasy X speedrun. Basically in Final Fantasy X, Bahamut is our nuke, so he kinda is like a legendary Pokemon. So, do we have a gigantic black dragon legendary Pokemon? Yes, we have. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the stage for our first shiny of the day. Say hello to Shiny Zekrom. And yeah, as always, we like to catch shinies, so let's hope we just gonna damage it a little bit, and ah, god dang it, that was a crit. Well, that's one shiny we critted to death. Good luck, we have a few more coming up. So yeah, as you've already seen with the last two bosses, he is very weak in its... Flan is still very weak in its own, but he hits like a truck, killing everything in its path. And yeah, we basically aren't even in its final form, because we're gonna get a garment grid later on, which will reduce his ATB to cast from basically from this to this. So he's gonna cast like crazy fast. But first, cutscenes. We're now in the hall where Vecnagun was supposed to be, but there's just a giant hole. And a lot of fireflies. So yeah, Vecnagun escaped, and we're getting a distress signal saying us to return in a second after this cutscene is over.
It must have fled into...
I don't think...
And yeah, this is the end of chapter 2.
Boys?
Yes.
Nothing much more to say here. We're done with chapter 2. 3 more chapters to go. And the next chapter is the shiny hunting chapter. We're just gonna hunt after 3 shiny Pokemon that are terrorizing the neighborhood. We're in Super Tutu! Return to the Celsius! Alright, let's get out of here. There are more rewards that we don't really care about, because we're never gonna make use of them, and we don't really need them either.
Trouble, and I mean big time. Fiends are pouring out.
Which ones? Only all of them! So yeah, we now officially quit our job as Sphere Hunters and change up to the friendly neighborhood Gullwings. We're just gonna run around the world, charge money to help for their problems. So off we go. Also say hello again to Lulu and her spiky hair.
But it's all right.
Careful when you're around her, you don't want an eye
Yes,
getting
you're
poked
afraid.
out.
Any fiends they... Waka and the rest split up.
The
This
Gullwings
is
are on the job.
still always so weird that I can't stop looking at this just spear of
That's
hair
okay,
coming out
it's
of her
all-
back hat.
People in the village will...
Alright, let's get out of here. So, Shinra installing a little something that we don't really care about. Shut up, brother, we just got rid of you.
Do we have time for a donation, maybe?
Ooh, donations. Sure.
I've got a €5 for donation from a name I'm gonna absolutely butcher.
Walkers in.
Cyprus, I
Inside.
think it's pronounced. He says, why did Aaron stay at the post office? He was unsent.
Okay. I've heard a lot of bad Final Fantasy X jokes before, I have to say, but this one actually is new. Congrats for that. Yeah, also thanks for the donation. Hello, Waka. You're a disgrace. You were the strongest character 2 years ago, and now you're getting beat up by normal monsters. I am disappointed, Waka. Now, let's move out of here. We have a burp! We have a shiny burp! We have a shiny big burp! What could it be? It's a shiny Pidgeot!
No.
So let's hope we don't crit it to death again, like we did with the Zekrom. Would be a shame to lose 2 shinies in a row to crits. So we're just gonna be careful here. And just a little bit of... Oh, god dang it. Flan is just too strong for this. Maybe I should switch him out to actually catch him. Alright, we're done here. Besaida's done. Off we go to Kilika, which is my childhood terror. Because the riddle up ahead we're gonna have in the next destination is so stupidly explained and so dumb in logic that everyone with more than 2 brain cells would struggle to find the solution for this, on how to progress
Call me before you do.
for this riddle. When I played this game the first time in the sweet age of 12 years old, I spent 3 hours in this place. And how did I solve the riddle in the end? My controller fell down and fell in a way that the analog stick was pulling up, walking into a cutscene where I didn't think there would be a cutscene, resulting in me being able to progress. This is still one of my biggest shames, and one of the things that I'm most annoyed about in my gaming life. But I mean, come on, that answer is just so stupid. So yeah, in Chapter 1, we've seen Donna moving over a secret path. We've had a little cutscene in the forest. This time, she's gonna help us get in there because the entrance to the forest is locked up. And then she's gonna say, as we then go, she's gonna tell us, there's a hidden path. Walk the treetops. Also, a little mini game where we're supposed to just, wait till the gates open. No one's watched till we can sneak by. The gate was closed. We can still walk by. if you get it, you just get an item here. And yeah, this part was just the bane of my existence as a child. So what you're supposed to do here is, you see that closed gate there in the end on the path? That is definitely closed. Let's move half a meter in front of it and check if the closed gate is actually closed. Yeah, this closed gate is definitely closed, so maybe let's see if on the other places there are closed gates that are open. So as you can see, oh, there's another closed gate. Let's walk half a meter in front of it and see if the closed gate is closed. And yes, indeed, who would have guessed? The closed gate is closed. Who would have guessed? And up here is the secret path that you're supposed to take. And last path, oh, another closed gate. I wonder if it's closed. Yep, this closed gate is definitely closed. So after checking if all the 3 closed gates are actually closed, and you walk down here, you trigger a cutscene where they remember the hidden path, the hint from Donna, and jump up here. Where's the logic in that? I still want to add to this day. Why do you have to walk half a meter in front of a closed gate to find out it is closed? To trigger a cutscene to move on. I've tried for literally 3 hours around. I've tried to kill soldiers and to maybe steal their uniforms and to be able to sneak by, but they never dropped uniforms. I tried for like half an hour different angles to try and hold jump to jump on top of that tree to move past. Because I saw in chapter 1 that Donna moved past that tree and I knew that was the path she was talking about. Nothing! And then yeah, as I already said, in the end my controller fell down in a way that the analog stick was pointed up, and before I could pick it up again, I walked straight into one of the gates, triggering the cutscene, and I was like, that's the answer! Logic! Alright, next temple. This one has actually a good bit of RNG to it, as we have a lot of forced encounters here. The problem with those forced encounters is they have not too much HP, but still a good amount. There are 2 ways of killing them. Either you hit them twice or you hit them once. If you hit them once, that's all great, because then that means you crit him and you kill him, and it's fast and it's all good. If you hit him twice though, Flan will still finish his cast of Flare on the corpse of the monster, still using up MP. If he does that in every single fight, we will have to heal his MP before the boss. Or nearly every single fight. If we get 2 fights where the enemy dies before Flan can charge the flare, then we win, then we don't have to heal up. So it's just a matter of RNG if we get crits or not, if we have to do an extra menu or not. We have 4 more fights, and yeah, in 2 of them I don't want to see a flare happening. So this one actually works as well. Seagoon charged the crackdown before Flan, so she had priority on the animation. So this one works as well. It's a little bit slower, but it saves me the MP, so overall less menus. Let's see, we got 3 more fights. If we get 1 more, that's good. If not, then, I mean, it's not the end of the world, then I'll just throw an ether at him. Sadly, that's a no, but he's gonna cast Flare, waste his MP.
Is there maybe a little bit of time for another donation?
Ooh, more donations. Keep them coming.
Yes, this one is from the very generous Anonymous, who donated 15 euros. The comment says, thank you for keeping me entertained all week by the amazing speedruns. I only played Final Fantasy X-2 for the first time 6 months ago, and I still think it's a very underrated game, and I am enjoying watching it being taken apart in 3 hours.
Oh,
good
yes.
Good luck for the rest of the event, and I hope you raise lots of money for this worthwhile charity.
Thank you, Anonymous. Yeah, I personally think as well. I have to say the one thing that I really don't like is there is a lot of information that you can miss out on. There is a lot of background information that requires you to know exactly what you need to do in order to find it. Which I think is kind of sad. But all in all, I really think this game is really underrated. It's a great game. It's a lot of fun to play. I still personally have to say the battle system is still probably one of my favorites out of all the Final Fantasies. Not counting Creature Creator, because Creature Creator battling is boring, because it's literally, if anyone's wondering, it's press left analog stick to decrease the stars, press right to increase it, and that's basically all the fights in the game. Nothing much to it with monsters, but I really think the normal battle system with the dress spheres and switching and all the backstories, the fantastic mini-games, it's an amazing game. There are really only one or two parts of the game, one or two segments where I really say, screw this, I don't want to do it. I hate these segments, they are really bad. But all in all, it is definitely also one of my favorites, which is also why it was the first Final Fantasy I started speedrunning. But yeah, I didn't even say it, we had a fire dog, that was our shiny Houndoom, and we critted to death again. Man, can we get some crit luck definitely all the time on the wrong time right now. But oh well. We're just gonna keep on going. Also, another fun thing about the story, basically. In Bavel, when we found the first hole, the first reaction of the girls was literally, let's jump in there. Not speaking to each other, not asking anything, just literally jumping down. Every single other hole in the game they find, they're like, a hole. Something's telling me I shouldn't jump down there. Which, I mean, they probably shouldn't because it leads to the final area of the game. But I mean, if they would, it would speed things up for us, so it would be kind of nice, huh? Alright, we finished the second one. We got another distress signal from Jose Temple, where we gonna fight a shiny electric unicorn. Any Pokemon comes to mind? To be honest, it took a while for me to find one out, but luckily Gen 5 had me covered. We're gonna go up here, and we're gonna meet shiny Zep Striker. Also, we're coming into the last human influenceable RNG part. We have a riddle in here where we have 5 switches. 4 of them will trigger a fight, 1 of them will trigger a door. It's always at random. Luckily you can escape from the fights if you get the fights. So that's not too slow, but yeah, that's the last bit of controllable RNG that we have. With the chance of getting somewhere. So let's just hope we get some good pedestal luck. Because good pedestal luck is always nice. Let's go up the elevator and we have 5 pedestals. As I said, it is completely random which one it is. But for some reason, the very right one over here is the most, somehow, is the one that gets most often. Like, most of the time it is actually this one, even though it's supposed to be completely random. This time it sadly wasn't. So let's look for the next one. I'd always like to do the middle ones next, which sadly it isn't. Also sad that Flan every single time just gets still a flare off, because that is slow. All the charge time and animation time. Let's try this one. It's not. Well, 50-50 for the last one. Let's flip that coin. Shigun, could you please hurry up? Thank you. Alright, 50-50. And of course, it's the last one. Well, my luck. At least the last one is no flare, so whatever. Alright, it's the very left one this time. For some reason, for me at least, the very left one is the least amount of times the one that's actually hitting it. But oh well, let's get this on and meet up with Shiny Zap Striker. Which is also just gonna be another one-hit KO fight. And after that fight, we have a bunch of cutscenes and then it's already end of Chapter 3.
How can this be?
With Chapter 4 being the shortest and Chapter 5 literally just being the final boss fights. In our case, for any percent, so... we're making good progress. We're making good progress, and goodbye. Wait, he survived actually? That's a rare occasion that he actually survives the flare. The others didn't hit fast enough. Doesn't matter, he's dead. And with that, we have a break from shiny hunting. We will see a few more later, though. We will see a few more later, though. So yeah, just also to compare, my PB had a first try pedestal, like the first pedestal I pushed was the right one. This time it was the last one. I just lost a minute 17 here. Just shows how much this can actually make a difference here.
I wonder what's down there.
Go find out.
But,
no
oh
way.
well.
The hole we found was so deep. It was as though all the secrets in the world might be hidden in its depths. But something told me to stay.
Something told me to stay away. The secrets are not mine to know. Zap Striker might have something to say against that. Zap Striker uses Explosion. Down the head. I hate it when shinies use Explosion. Alright, more cutscenes. And actually, to give some intel, we have a 3-minute FMV coming up that we used to watch, actually. Because it would save 40 seconds on watching the 1,000 words cutscene. Now we can just skip it right here, because we don't care about it anymore.
Open your eyes.
There is nothing much to do here. Because we found a faster way to watch a 40-second cutscene instead of a 3-minute one. Using the reassembled sphere that we got from the end of Chapter 2 from LeBlanc's villa. Because we can just, on the airship, rewatch that at any time, even normally skip it, and with that set up the cutscene skip again for the 1,000-word concert. But, again, thanks to the generous donators, we had a cutscene incentive that got met, so we're gonna watch the concert. Which I'm actually myself happy about, because I haven't watched it in a while, and I'm happy to sing along again. Because I really, really like the cutscene, I really love the song. And yeah, also maybe to already say, for yes sir, you can probably already oil your voice.
Give her this one too.
Because you remember the 10-minute auto scroller that I said that I told about earlier? It's coming up in a few minutes. And you have lots of time to talk then. But we still have a few more cutscenes with nothing too much to do here. Just smashing through, going on. And then we're gonna have some more cutscenes to skip, and then we're gonna have some more cutscenes to watch. Now we're gonna have some more cutscenes to skip.
Everywhere I looked, I found only questions. But more than anything,
Oh well.
I'm just angry. One thing after another, and I'm already confused to begin with. Hey! Where am I?
Oh, don't you see it? You're on a flower place. Can you see all the flowers around you? There's so many flowers here. Spotlight. Interesting. Quick callback to Final Fantasy X. What did she say again? I always try to practice smiling when I'm feeling sad. In that moment, would have fit better here. Would have fit just so much better here, in my opinion.
Alone.
No, you're not.
Where are you?
I'm not gonna tell you. So you can whistle here a few more times to unlock a secret ending. But it's the fastest fade out when you just whistle once and then just go, let it go. It's the fastest way to end this cutscene. Alrighty then. End of chapter 3, back to the airship. And prepping for the concert.
Come in, Yuna.
The world is in ruin, the leaders of the fractions are gone, the world is going to chaos. What were you gonna do against that?
Yuna!
Sing campfire songs? That's it!
Yuna!
So we are gonna prep up a concert, which is literally just gonna be we sing one song and then it's over. Ever been to a concert like those? I don't think they would be very popular IRL. You pay like $500 for a concert ticket and then just get one song and it's over. Also, don't call me out on those prices. I've never been to a concert. I have no idea what the tickets normally cost. Alrighty then. For the first time, we take the first option here. We're going on deck with a lovely view. Skipping more cutscenes. As we do not care, because this is any percent. And yeah, as I said already, the story is very nice, but only if you have the background information from all the side quests, so it's probably for the better. Okay then, so we're supposed to watch all over the world using comm spheres, which are basically video cameras that Shinra placed all over the world. We're gonna have some interesting talks with all the people around here, except we don't. We literally just turn in and go out. Because we don't care what's happening in the world. Also, Donna, don't. Donna's about to do something very rude and just literally walk straight through a man. Because she's like walking like this with the sphere in front of her and she's literally just walking through a man. How is she doing that? Yeah, just throw us on the bed. Bye. Mushroom Rock World, the HQ of the Youth League, they throw it in the ocean because they don't want anything to do with us, because we're their enemies. And Bevel. And with that, we are done with that part. Talk to no one and still proceed. So yeah.
Looks like new.
Trouble all over the world. What shall we do? What shall we do? Concert! Alright, and yeah. What's gonna happen next is we're gonna look for our friend Toby, the little walking meter that we've seen
Yikes, sorry.
behind the musicians in the start of chapter 2. Thing is, Toby is in big debts and he has loan sharks coming after him. So he's hiding. And these loan sharks are the worst at their job. Like, I saw him right there, on the right side, behind the fence.
Hey, yo.
You were literally standing next to him. How did you not see him?
Word.
Yeah, he's somewhere nearby. Look, there he's running. After him.
Huh?
Go, go. After him. And yeah, we're following them. And after just like 5 meters, they're just like, where did he go? They stop. They don't even look. They literally just stop here and do. What are you doing? He's right there on the left, behind the tree. Come on, guys. Are you even trying? And he's running again, and we're running after. The worst loan sharks in history. The first one doesn't even have any endurance at all because he's already busted right now. So what are they gonna do now? They're just gonna stand around there again instead of searching the area. He's right there in the tall grass on the right. How are you not seeing him? Idiots. And yeah, this is basically gonna go on for a few more minutes now, so... Yes, sir, if you have something to talk about, feel free.
I can talk about Twitch Prime if you'd like.
Feel free to do so.
As everyone knows, you can use Twitch Prime on pretty much any channel, but you might want to consider using it here on the ESA channel. if you use your Prime subscription here, you can get access to all the ESA emotes and several of BSG's emotes as well, and you'll support both events.
They literally just ran past him because he is hiding in the left of the in the forest. But whatever. Some more, yes sir? You have time.
Some more. Let's see. With this game being Final Fantasy X-2, it's the first game that in a series that's considered a direct sequel of its predecessor.
That is true. That was a big deal. And actually, I've heard that they're currently actually working on what they've promised ages ago on a 10-3. At least there are rumors going around, which actually would be interesting to see and hear about, to be honest, in my opinion. I would love to see how this goes on, though the audio drama definitely is a decent point, but still needs a lot of changes. Yeah, now we're running backwards, and he's gonna steal their bike, which was in the very start of the area, and just drive by again, so we still have time!
We still have time. Well, I've got a little story about ants, if you like ants.
Oh boy, ants! My favorite!
Yes. There is a species of ant that only lives in Manhattan. It's called the Manhattan ant.
Was that a dad
I'm not
joke?
making this up.
Okay, good.
I'm not making this up.
Okay, that is good to know, because for a second I thought you were just dad joking me here right now.
No, it's a species of ants that only lives in Manhattan.
Welp. Naming is hard. I mean, my Flan is also just named Flan. I could have named him Jeff, but Flan is a Flan. What can I say? Alright, we're actually closing in towards the end. And I'm actually gonna hear some interesting voices, because if you like Futurama, Bender has a guest appearance here. At least his voice actor actually gets a few lines here in a second. So yeah, totally crashed his bike, and we're moving on to cross the river and go on.
He says Tobley.
Alright, my mom just said me goodnight, sorry for the silence. So yeah, moving over to the other side of the river, still going on chasing him. And yeah, we're gonna meet the one lone shark that actually is smart here. Sadly, he's not smart enough, and yeah, we're gonna hear some familiar voices. But they're not gonna ask us to bite their shiny metal, you know what.
You don't suppose you climbed into one of them trees, do you?
Oh, that is a good idea. Why don't you punch a tree? Yeah, by the way, the other guy's Bender, I skipped over him.
Yo, you're gonna kill!
Yep. Perfect English. Well, I mean, at least...
That totally sounds like Jake the dog.
I don't know who that voice actor all voiced, so... I'm still mostly used to German voices. Yeah, run away. Also, for some reason, Tobley had a shoe puff in his pocket or something. I don't know, this part's never really made sense. I have no idea where he got that thing from just now. But yeah, just as I reach the person's there in the end, it's gonna be over. He's gonna agree to join us and help organize the concert, and then we're, yeah, gonna have a nice little mini game where I'm already just want to say it's gonna be flashing images. So if you have problems with, if you have some seizure problems, you might wanna look away in a moment. I'll definitely give out a warning before it starts, and maybe also turn down your volume a little because it's gonna be a lot of noises. Because we have a rhythm mini game coming up, where we're supposed to press buttons in order to get some rhythm together. But for some reason, you can literally just mash all buttons and it still will award you tons of points.
Brother's orders.
Just to say, the best rewards you get for 150 points, we usually get like 1,000, 800 to 1,000, depending on the mashing. just showing how free that minigame is. But yeah, we don't really need the reward. I could just let the music in the background play and enjoy it, but when I'm here, I don't want to waste the chance to maybe get a new mashing PB. So we're going to the cabin, and the seizure is gonna start. The flashing images are gonna start in a second. Also, I'm gonna mute myself so you don't hear the annoying mashing noises and my moaning and whatever.
Hey, Uni, hurry up and change!
Only a 714? Boy, that was bad. At least the 800 I normally get. Oh well.
It's almost time. Do you think people will show up?
You betcha! The Thunder Plains will be packed.
Alright.
But what are you gonna sing?
There is no song here. It's a prank, now I'll go home again. Oh no, wait, we're actually gonna watch it. Never mind the last part.
It's more like
It's fun when you prep all the time for the concert and just with a click of a button that's not supposed to be there, you skip it
I
all.
think so. I don't know much about her, but I'm learning.
But we're
more
gonna
and more.
watch and sing and dance and have
pieces
some
of her
good
memories
fun
keep
times
pouring in.
with 1,000 words.
It's
And it's actually
like I
gonna
can
come up
feel
in a
what
moment
she
as
was
well.
feeling.
Thus shall
We
love
just have a
sacrifice
teeny tiny dungeon
evolve
with
into
a
bittersweet song.
teeny tiny boss,
Something like that?
a few more cutscenes, and then we're already there.
We'll be arriving soon. After Buddy drops us off, he and the others will go pick up as spectators.
So we won't be able to board for a while.
You got it.
Alrighty. Well then, let's go off to the concert grounds, baby. Barkeep still dancing over there. You just gotta love the Hype Hallows. Their wanky R and wanky kind and their way of talking. Alright, let's move on to the Thunder Plains. Hello, Goings. Good to see you. Are you ready to perform your song? Yeah, basically they got a monster that is dining on the visitors. So of course we can't handle it, so let's clean it up real quick. Alrighty then. That is pretty straightforward, pretty easy enough. This boss has one tricky part about it though. It has a complete magic immunity. So magic won't deal any damage, so this fight will actually take a few seconds, as our Flan will deal no damage to him. But the other two will deal just good enough damage to kill it fast enough. The other thing, of course, is we don't hope that Flan dies, because from here on out, if Flan dies to any boss, there is a chance that we won't have enough levels to survive a boss fight in a bit. So there is backup for it, and if it comes worse to worse, I can just cheat in some items and just use them to gain more HP. But let's hope we don't have to let it come to this. So we're just gonna beat him up. Goon's still dealing very decent damage here. And he should fall with the next attack. Easy enough, everything easy, everything nice, everything great. Alright, out of the cave, and then it's basically time for the whoops, wrong button. And it's basically time for the concert. I'll see at jumping sounds. Do, 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 do. Alrighty then, I hope you're prepared to mute the stream because my singing will probably make it will probably hurt.
We're landing.
I'm not that bad of a singer. Alright, we're talking to Brother.
Hey, we brought.
We're talking to Riku.
Hey, uh-oh.
No kidding. The two. Yeah.
I'll pick up.
The Yevonites are here too?
Hey, you. If the Praetor were here, he'd never let. What I want to know is where.
The last one doesn't even get to start talking. Alright, so. I hope you're ready for a nice little song because it is concert time.
Why?
And I really, really love the song. Let's have some fun. And it's not green screen, thank God. I know that you're hiding things, using gentle words to shelter me. Your words were like a dream, but dreams could never fool me. Not that easily. I acted so distant and didn't say goodbye before you left. But I was listening. You fight your battles far from me, far too easily. Save your tears, 'cause I'll come back. I could hear that you whispered as you walked through that door. But still I swore to hide the pain when I turned back the pages. Loading might have been the answer. What if I cried my eyes out and begged you not to depart? But now I'm not afraid to say what's in my heart. 1,000 words all out through the ages, they'll fly to you. Even though I can't see, I know they're reaching you. Suspended on silver wings. 1,000 words, 1,000 embraces will cradle you. May all of your weary days see far away. They'll hold you forever. I just love this song. 1,000 words have never been spoke. They fly to you. They'll carry you home and back into my arms. Suspended on silver wings, on silver wings. 1,000 words call out through the ages. They'll cradle you, turning all of the lonely years to only days. They'll hold you forever. Oh, 1,000 words. Alright, enough of music, singing, and wasting time by watching cutscenes that are not that are actually skippable. Let's get back to our job. Let's go beat up the final bosses because we're nearing in on the end game. We're having a few more cutscenes till we enter chapter 5, and once we enter chapter 5, it's literally just final fights back to back to back to back with one riddle and a lot of cutscenes in between. There is nothing much left to do, but we will have a little shiny hunting segment in between again, where we're gonna meet a few more shiny Pokemon. Which is gonna be yay! Also again, like to say, stay hydrated.
Impressive machina. An invention like this could change the world.
Drinking is
Whoever came up
important.
with this is a genius.
Drinking is important.
Guess I'm a genius too for fixing it.
Anybody home?
Gipple!
I don't think he can hear us.
No response. Some genius.
Oh well, finishing off the final
Let's go.
cutscenes and then we're
Chill
off to
out.
go.
Lost your nerve?
Actually, what am I talking about?
Hey,
Final
we're talking
cutscenes.
about Vegnagon.
There is still that 5-minute segment.
We can't even walk up to it without
Right,
freaking
but
it out.
literally right before the final 4 bosses.
Or making it mad.
4? 5? 5 bosses.
Got a plan.
Oh well.
Death will be my apology. Whatever, man.
Also, I'm
When a Death
kind of
Seeker
sad
dies,
that
it's
it's
no
nearly
apology.
3 AM for me because my neighbors are probably all asleep, so I can't shout out my
What
favorite
about
line in
LeBlanc?
the game. Well, I can do it quietly, but it won't be the same. It will just not be the same. Why did it cut off like that? Just when you're getting to the juicy bits!
Not my fault.
I just love my juicy bits!
What a piece of junk! Forget it, I'll go ask him myself.
Always at the juicy bits!
What about the Goldwings?
I think that we should
I
help
love
out
my
Newt.
juicy bits!
But first,
Just normally like 3 times the volume.
I have to tell him how Len
As
felt.
soon as the music starts,
Sure he'll
we can skip.
understand.
And let's get go. As we're heading off to infinity and beyond. Alrighty then. That was chapter 4. Complete. Alright, and we did get a new garment grid for beating the dragon in the last segment that we're going to prep up. It's gonna be the Black Tablet. We're gonna put a warrior and a thief on there because we're gonna need the warrior in a moment. And we're gonna just give it to Flan, put him on thief for now, and go on with the next few bosses. So yeah, basically this is the most overpowered we will get in this run. Just, yeah, basically we have half a second charge time for his spells now. Alright. Ah, the time for invasion has come. Sphere Hunter Team going. Hmm? Your friendly nay. Huh? What are we called now? Doesn't really matter. Good point. Too early. We don't care about names, we just skip them away, because as soon as the music changes, we can go again. And we're jumping into the final hole. Approaching the last few shiny Pokemon. So, the next one is a Final Fantasy standard, who isn't really looking that much different in every game, because it's always the form of a young lady with a heart made out of ice. Of course, everyone who's somewhat familiar with Final Fantasy will know I'm talking about Shiva. And as Pokemon, I'm not 100% having a name for it, but at some point I just decided that Shiva's Pokemon name probably, or Pokemon form, probably would be a Frostlass. So, say hello to Shiny Frostlass. Who is actually gonna have enough HP to survive a flare and even take a second one. Oh wait, no, never mind. Thinking of the wrong. Anima was the one. Okay. Easy fight still, but now we're coming to the fight that can change runs. One of the two bosses. I'm gonna do a little save here because we do have autosave, but the autosave would put us before Shiva again in case something goes wrong here. Because this next boss is the run killer. I don't even want to count together how many runs I've had on PB pace and then just this boss crushed it all, putting me minutes behind. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the Dark Magus trio. And for those three lovely buck ladies, I still have absolutely no Pokemon names, to be honest. Except, of course, for the girl, B1 being Beedrill, but that's literally my only ideas here, so... let's just beat them up and hope they go well. So the big issue is they have a few attacks that they can combo in a way that we are literally not able to do anything, and they will literally just stunlock us to death. This fight is actually looking very good though, and this was a very, very good fight. This was a very, very good fight. Oh my goodness, this fight. On one hand, I'm kind of happy you didn't see how extremely hard and frustrating this fight could be, because I have better things to do at 3 AM than being annoyed over sisters. On the other hand, I'm kind of sad though, because I just hyped them up as being so terrible, and then I just get one of the best fights I've seen ever. Where they literally behaved for once. Alright, but that puts us on to the last shiny Pokemon. We're going in for the last one, and then we just have a little riddle and the 5 final bosses. We're closing in on the end, but we still have a bunch of time left to go, as there are still multiple minutes of cutscenes in between. So say hello to the final one, to Dark Anima, and this is Shiny Cofagrigus. And we're getting a good amount of crits in here, but still need the second flare to kill. Alright, we have one more fight that can go either really well or really, really bad. We do have one more fight of that kind. Also, that was an 8-second goal. Just to point out again how good that Sisters was, I just goaled by 8 seconds. So what we're gonna do next is we gonna change the Flan to Warrior and gonna take off the ring and replace it with a iron bangle to raise his HP, so now he has 1,348 HP. And this is what we'll be needing, because the next boss we're fighting against has an attack that does fixed 1,250 damage. If we would have died a few times with Flan, he wouldn't have had enough HP, and I would have had to do some extra stuff. Luckily, that is spared. Oh, come on, I hate this gate. Hi. Bye. Basically, you can deactivate the gate using the piano left of us. Generally speaking, it's faster to just go through. Unless, of course, the game feels trolly. Normally, once the camera changes, you're fine. He still got me for some reason. This gate also has cost me a few races by now. So we're gonna play some piano to deactivate the traps here, and that was the wrong note. Basically, we can skip the first input because those traps aren't really that bad, and the second, third inputs we do have to dodo. The combination lies all around the place when you have certain platforms to step on, they give you the melody and you can play after that. But the melody isn't very hard, and of course as speedrunners who've played the game a couple hundred times already, I know it by heart, so... Another gate, wait till it's down, go past. And we have the next piano, and then we have the big stupid part of the stupid music riddle. Fa, mi, fa, so, do. Music time. Password accepted. We can go on, and we go on with more cutscenes before entering the same code again, but in a way larger scale and a way more annoying scale. Basically, you see the platforms that are flying around over there? Some of them basically have the note triggers, and we have to do a jumping puzzle to find the notes and to activate them in the right order. Personally, you really have to say, when learning the speedrun and not having too much experience, this is the one part that's annoying and hard to get used to. It's just this puzzle up ahead. The rest of the game is fairly easy, and at this point I'm just saying, the Final Fantasy X-2 community sadly doesn't have their own Discord, but we have an own channel in the Final Fantasy X Discord and in the general Final Fantasy Discord, where basically every Final Fantasy has their own channel.
What do you got in mind for fun?
So, if you're interested in maybe finding out about this game, as I can personally just say, HD Any % is a very, very nice beginner speedrun, as it's easy to learn, not too much to worry about. It is a pretty chill run, up to the point when you want to go for top times, because then it becomes kind of reset heavy. The RNG parts really can start to annoy you. I can just say I've had streams before that went 5 and 6 hours onwards, and I haven't been past chapter 1 once, because I've just always been resetting like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I've just been resetting, because the RNG always put me like a minute behind.
All you gotta do is shut up and look important.
But I can really just say it is a really nice game casually. If you haven't played it yet and liked Final Fantasy X, definitely check it out. As I said earlier in the run already, it is in my opinion, one of the best battle systems in the series. I really, really love the battle system, even though we don't showcase it here very much.
She's inside. Well, wait.
And yeah, if you want, as I get again, if you want to learn the speed run, we have channels in the Final Fantasy X and in the general Final Fantasy Discord. We also have other categories. For example, we have the No Creature Creator, which is literally the same run, just that we are forced to use Yuna, Riku, and Pain for the run, which makes the run a little more hard, and it's more for the advanced, but also it's very easy to die on a lot of places, even though you've done everything in your power to prevent it. which is personally why I've always been a little bit afraid to look into it. And of course we have the 100% category, which I can just recommend. If you have the time for it, it is a fairly long run, but it's a very, very nice run with a lot to do. And it's in the coming currently. We're still working on tech to get the time further and further down. And as I said, that currently we're at a little over 11 hours. And just to give a reference, we had a lot of route changes recently, and about a year ago the world record was still on like 21 hours. So we've come a lot. So yeah, we've come a long way with that. Shoutouts to Brainbugged for that. He just randomly showed up one day in our Discord, said, "Hey, I have route improvements." And of course, as speedrunners, we all know these people that just randomly show up and be like, "Hey, we have better strats," and then they turn out to be worse because they skip something that we absolutely need for the run. But he actually had changes that were very, very helpful, very beneficial, and really brought the run forwards and made it way more accessible. Because, I mean, an 11-hour run is just way more accessible than a 21-hour run. And also way more enjoyable. Anything else I want to talk about in general right now? Talked about the categories, gave a few shout-outs. I think I'm done on that part with that then. So we can focus on the final phase of the game. We are 5 fights away from the end, but also we still have a few minutes of cutscenes before that. Like, between now and the end of the first of those 5 fights, we still have about 10 minutes right now. All in all, I'm very happy with how the run went.
That's it.
Can't complain too much about it. Alrighty then, final area time. Say hello to Vecnagun, the meanie beanie machine that is planning on destroying the world. Also, actually, fun story. We're gonna have 5 fights against different parts of this machine. On the second to last fight, there actually is an invisible timer running. And once it runs out, you get a game over. The fun part about that is you actually get a cutscene where you see this machine literally destroying the entire world. The fun part about it that I've just recently actually found out also by watching someone doing a no creature creator run, so without monsters for one of the first 2 times, is that you get an autosave after you lose the fight and before that cutscene starts. Which is very funny and also very annoying in that matter. Because, I mean, you get all the way there, then you have one bad fight and then literally the entire run is dead. I personally don't hope it ever happens to me. Then again, I know it will never happen to me. Because that fight is just over in a few seconds with what we have here.
My body has already been rigged. I'm taking Shuyin with me.
So yeah, just cutscenes, 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 cutscenes. Yes, sir, do you still have material to talk about?
You're okay.
Oh, I have lots of material to talk about.
Well then,
this game, I've got animal facts.
This cutscene goes about 3 minutes. Free feel to fill those out.
Oh boy, you've given me too much power.
I don't like your plan.
Well, I'm gonna start off with something light.
It sucks.
If you want to participate in events similar to BSG, we highly recommend checking out UKSG.
Your plan
UKSG
is
is a event normally held in Glasgow, running 4 times a year and supporting Crisis. Currently, they are also doing the events online because of COVID.
We destroyed the Aeons who had fought together with us
Let's
at
see,
our
if I have
side.
something fun about
We didn't
this
have a choice
game.
Does
the character Celsius ring a bell?
The character Celsius.
Like to watch them die?
Yeah.
Not really. We have an airship that's named like that, but I wouldn't know of a character.
Oh, yeah. Then it's supposed to be the airship. I don't know much about this game. It was originally named by Brother to make fun of his father's ship, airship called
I thought
Fahrenheit.
I'd be able to
Both
go
are
through with
terms
it without ever doubting myself.
used to measure temperature, but in totally different measuring systems.
Huh. That actually I never
More
knew.
you know.
So much.
I actually never knew.
Forgive
Interesting.
us.
Do you know why the Sphere Hunter team is called the Gullwings? Probably
No.
not.
Everyone
That is
was so
a cutscene hidden actually
job,
behind High
Hunter.
Percentage
You did it.
that you can
You saved
trigger
us.
where they actually tell a story on how they found the
Too many
airship
smiles to count.
that was up in the far north,
And I
nestled
know
within the ice,
that I
and
was
brother
sad
and his
too.
friend Buddy were looking for it, and they had no food left. They were just in a little boat out in the ice sea, looking for that airship, and then at some point, out of nowhere, a single gull appeared,
people who should
as if it
feel
would have come to save them. They chased it down with all their
should be
blast
smiling, but they
power,
aren't here.
and it led them directly
no
to their
choice.
airship. And well, then they coordinated because they literally had nothing else. And that's why the Spear Hunter team is named the Gullwings.
The
We
more
had
you
no
know.
choice.
Yes.
Speaking of the
Always
more
we
you
had
know,
no choice.
cows bitten
Those
with
were our magic
zebra-like
words. We
stripes
repeat
can
them to
avoid being
ourselves
bitten
again
by
and again,
flies.
but you know, the magic never worked. The only thing we're left with is regret.
I have
I'm
no
not
logical
thinking
answer
sorry.
for that, so it's probably a dumb joke that I will just laugh off why I didn't thought of it. So just give me the answer.
I don't want this anymore.
Let's see if I get this right. It's according to a study by Japanese scientists. Yeah, for some
don't
reason
want friends
they
to die
tested it, and the cows
fade
with
away.
the stripes were
I don't want
bothered
battles
less
where
by
we have
flies.
to lose in order to win.
Huh. Interesting.
The stripes worked as some kind of motion camouflage.
Nuge, I know
Well,
that what you
guess the
say
next time I'm doing a
what you
run
need
in the
to
middle
do.
of the night where I have the window
Give me
open
your
and the
resolve.
light on, I'll just wear a
Believe in
striped
me.
shirt. Cause
Don't
I'm
forget
getting,
to paint your face stripes as well.
cause I'm getting eaten by some flies
That's
that
right.
flew in through the window.
Hey, no matter how
But well,
monstrous it looks, so
I mean, I could also just turn off the light, but just from the screen alone, I probably A, would also come in still, and B, it would not be very professional if you would see me, like,
And I never was the way
my face, and that's it. Shining out of the dark.
Cause people,
Then again, it is called face cam for a reason.
everyone,
Alrighty
looks like
then.
we can
More?
We do have a little more, yeah. Because the machine
Alright,
will
good.
still activate, and then we have still a little bit.
Alright, I do want to
Witness
remind you guys about the prizes you can be eligible to win. For €5 you can win a €25 gaming gift card of your choice.
It'll
Double that, and we'll double it to a €50 gaming
I've
gift
come
card
this
of
far
your
to bring
choice.
Lens-
€50
power of-
might get you a BSG custom PlayStation 2 controller by Delfino Customs, who make phenomenal stuff. Trust me, it's phenomenal. And for another, also for €5, you might get the Sonic the Hedgehog controller stand. Perfectly matches your BSG and PlayStation 2 controller, if you ask me. €5 can also get you a Totodile plushie. Keeps those pesky nightmares away and helps you crit and the shinies even more.
Just out of curiosity, would that be the exact same Totodile plushie that we've had around for Annual 2019 on the couch?
Oh boy, you're asking something. I believe not, because that plushie was already owned by someone.
Ah, I wasn't sure who brought it anymore, so I was just wondering. Because I love that little thing. Alrighty then, yeah, big bad machine opening up and strategizing. We're gonna split up and take it up part by part. The both boys will go after the head. LeBlanc, Ormy, and Logos will go after the legs, and we three girls will go after the tail. And just hearing that, 3 girls, 1 tail, what could possibly go wrong? Well, the tail is the last boss that is somewhat mean. As I said earlier, we have a boss coming up that has an attack that deals a fixed 1,250 damage to all party members. That's the tail. And there are circumstances when you crit him too much, you advance in a phase and he does 2 in a row, which we are just not able to survive at all. And yeah, he can do some very weird shenanigans, depending on how many crits he's gonna eat and how ATB is gonna work out. So it is definitely possible to die still here. It has happened way too many times to me as well here. This is the second annoying boss in the run after Sisters that I've lost more PB runs to than I'm comfortable counting together. Every single time I've been of those runs, I've been past Sister, I was like, oh baby, 3-minute PB, yes, 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 this is amazing. Tail came, 2 tail swipes, 3 minutes, ended 2 minutes behind after 2 resets. This fight is always fun and never easy, and yeah, since you can't really control anything, and since crits are RNG, all we can do is just hope for the best. The good thing, at least, autosave is nice. The autosave is after all the cutscenes that we've just watched, so we don't have to watch them again in case we die. We can just walk up the path here again and hit them. So let's see if we get a decent fight.
Your friends are your strength.
If we do get to see the double tail swipe or not. If this is gonna be my marathon luck. There's the first one. And let's see how the damage is looking. If we can kill him right now, if he's gonna... Yeah. Oh, that was close. That was close. You've seen already the name of the attack, and he already tried to whoosh around. But we got in the hit last second and made it on the first attempt. I am happy. The rest of the final bosses is very easy. There is no danger at all in any of the final bosses with my current setup. I will do a few more menus in between this and after the next fight, before this fight and after the next fight, to heal up and eventually unlearn some spells again. Because the leg will use 1 out of 5 spells after it dies. And depending on what spell that is, I might have to unlearn 3 spells from Seagoon or 3 spells from Flan. And also after this next fight, I'm gonna switch back on Flan, give him the ring back and put him back on Thief so his casts are just faster. Because HP won't be needed after this next fight, because we just won't get too much damage anymore. So yeah, we're going on. We got the three girls, 1 against the tail. Now it's time to visit them legs. Look at them legs!
What are you doing
Beautiful,
here?
beautiful legs. Let's crush them.
I'll let you have this one. I'm going to go cheer Nujion. Got it!
So yeah, all in all, this fight is fairly easy. The leg has 3 support units, which are the colored circles on the side. 1 is healing, 1 is buffing, 1 is attacking. The leg is already dead, but the others are gonna still finish their attacks. And we get Water Ga, which is unfortunate, because that means now we need to unlearn spells. But it could be worse. It could definitely have been worse. How'd I gold that by 3 seconds? Man, getting golds here in the end game that I don't know where they're coming from after I'm already 15 minutes behind on PB. But well, it's a marathon run. We don't want to complain too much. Alright, yes. Creature, Flan, we want to unlearn the water spells because they're way weaker than the flare. We want to equip and make him a thief again and switch the iron bangle for the ring for more damage. And then we're going to revive and use a mega elixir to be ready for the final 3 fights. There is nothing much more to talk about. We are on our way to the final 3 fights. This is basically, right now we are approaching the point of no return. At this point you could still go back, do other stuff, do side missions. As soon as you enter the next cutscene, you're stuck in the end game. And there is no turning back. Between every of the next 3 bosses we'll get a full heal, so that won't be an issue as well. And yeah, we're just gonna attack the power core, then destroy its head, and then destroy the person who is controlling it.
So before you go into this fight, it's time for one teeny weeny donation.
There is more than enough time for donations over the next few fights because all we do is 5-star and wait till it's dead.
Alright, I've got a €5 donation from Mark Hook, who says, good vibes.
So yeah, the power core has two legs here.
You know where to strike.
Shut up, Oren, I know. Oh yeah, by the way, in the background you might hear the voices of Oren Braska and Jack giving us advice on how to do these fights. Just that we absolutely do not care.
We did it! Phew. We're shooting.
Alright, that was the power core. We're gonna have a few minutes of cutscene right here. And then just, yeah, the last few fights are coming up. We're coming in on time. But we still have 2 fights to go, so not quite ready.
What now?
And I'm actually very happy to see that the estimate worked out, because if I'm looking correctly here right now, if my math isn't too far off, and RNG in the last 2 fights won't be too annoying with persons talking in the background and voices, I should go barely underestimate. Which I'm actually, to be honest, kind of happy about.
All of Spira is finished.
Because I was a bit worried with the 250 estimate. I mean, sure, safety room and the cutscenes, but to be honest, I was expecting, if it really went well, it could have been a 240 still, going a good bit underestimate. Still, estimate worked out. I'm happy that it worked out. And yeah, all in all, I can just say, I hope you enjoyed the run. I can basically call it off already, so we can just straight into intermission after time. Because there is literally nothing more to talk about, really, for me. I hope you enjoyed the run.
This is it, everybody.
And yeah, I can just say again, it's a wonderful game. Casually, even more than speedrunning. Can only recommend it. And yeah. That's the last run for me for the event. That was my second and last run. I'm very happy I was a part of this marathon again. And I really just hope that next year for Annual, that the situation will be better and that it will be on site again for us all to meet up there and have a good time all together. And pretend the last 2 years didn't exist with all the pain and sorrow, and yeah, it were 2 rough years. The virus has gotten us good, but we're at the end. It all goes upwards, and yeah, I really just hope next year we'll be able to see it all again. With that, we finish off the head with the next hit. And now it's just another 1 or 2 minutes of cutscene before we go into the final fight.
Yeah, let's talk to shoot.
Time on the final fight will be on the last hit, which, if we don't get too many flares, will be on the second flare. And yeah. Hope you enjoyed the run. Thanks for having me. Hope you enjoyed the cutscenes, the singing. I can't wait for my bed. Yeah, I hope you all enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Shuyan.
Len.
There's something I must tell you. Words left unspoken for 1,000 years. I love you. And I'm grateful. Grateful that you stayed with me until the end.
But I couldn't save you.
It doesn't matter. Please, don't go on grieving alone. Rest.
Can't believe that plan worked out. But yeah, now we have the plot twist. Every single time in the game, in the cutscenes, when they met each other, Sweden was like, "Hi Len, I'm not Len. Okay, bye Len. Hi Len, I'm not Len. Okay, bye Len." This time, "Hi, I'm Len. I'm here to ease your suffering and put you to rest." "You are not Len!" And yeah. Final fight, it's not gonna take too long, it's only gonna be a few seconds long.
Wait!
Let's get this over with. Let's end this.
You are not Len!
Let's hope we don't get any annoying talking in the way.
Put that crybaby to sleep.
Shut up, Jacked. That's the first flare, not too many crits, so we probably will finish just here on the second finished flare cast. And time. Barely underestimate.
Congratulations on that wonderful run.
Yeah, I've said everything I had to say already. If you want to add anything still, yes sir, feel free to. Because I'm done.
Alright, coming up next, Portal Glitchless. Definitely a runner you want to stick around, and I'm definitely not biased towards it. So, we're gonna go into a quick intermission. We'll see you guys after that.